and sharing new music, bro. We got
Yeah,
the new
and
music.
speaking of which, I think we should announce a little project that's coming out in this summer.
You look like Larry David
Uh,
right
it's a pretty good
It's
project. It's called Mystic.
there. Yeah, Mystic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to tell
Mystic,
people about the project dropping?
which is like crazy, right? Because the only way you're ever gonna know that it's pronounced Mystic right now is because you watched this episode and you made it this far to the 40
Yeah.
40-minute mark.
40, yeah.
But it's like MY5 TC, right? But it's pronounced Mystic, and because we're into mysticism,
Yep.
and we're mystics, and yeah, man, got a new project. I think we'll just like keep putting out new stuff, but we want to put out a quick EP. Hopefully, we can maybe put out an EP every quarter. We'll see. But we got something that we definitely want to drop for the summer edition,
And it's hot fire.
we got some lava.
We got some, yeah, and I just am really excited to be doing a project with you again and getting back to music because that is like what we were made to do on this earth.
Yes. Well, I feel like honestly, I always was just like made to share ideas.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
And I think like I ended up like gravitating towards music because my mom passed away when I was 11, and we moved with my godmom, and so I had this brother, my new brother, and love him, just like looked up to him so much. And he was rapping. He's like,
What was his name?
his name's Harold.
Harold.
Yeah, Harold. That's my brother. Shout out to Harold, man. Love him. Almost typical. He's a chef now and really good food. But he was rapping, and I just wanted to do whatever he was doing. I was like, whatever this dude's doing, like that's what I'm doing. So he was doing that, and then I was like, I think I could do this. And so I just like started writing, and it was like straight up trash. But like I go back to school, they'd be like beating on the lunch tables, and I like spit like 4 bars or something.
I had a teacher in 7th grade. We would do the pencil tapping beats on the desk during class.
For sure.
And her name was Mrs. Connor, and she would yell at us in the middle of class. It was me and this dude George Lapsley that did it all the time, and she would make us come to lunch detention at her classroom, and we would have to tap for the whole lunch detention.
Oh, so you got really good at it.
And so the first time we were like yeah, okay, we'll do this detention. Little does she know we're gonna love it. But no, we get to lunch detention, and you can't realize how hard it is to keep doing beats and keep them like
How long was
not
detention?
boring for 20 minutes.
20
like,
minutes, yeah. So you probably got really good at it. But yeah, no, we go to lunch in AP, and I spit like 4 bars, like, and they'd be like, oh. So like it progressively got better because every day I go to school, like people like they want to hear me rap something. Everybody was rapping, whatever. And then you want to be better than the other people. And then, I quickly just got better than everyone else. And it was just only because I worked at it harder. Like I just spent more time with it. It wasn't like I was like a genius or something like that, I don't think. I was just like, I'm working at this for real.
You were pretty sick with the rhymes.
I'm pretty sick with the rhymes. But I started at 11 years old. So I'm well over my 10,000 hours. And I'm like really dedicated when I'm doing something. So I was getting busy. And then it got to the point where now I was 14. I was like really good. And then my brother's like, okay, like I'm starting a group. Like, you want to be in my group? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then we start recording. Then I think that was around the time that like 92.3. I'm from Chicago, and they had just like launched or something like around that time, maybe a year before or something like that. So they were doing like a showcase down at the Virgin Record store on Magnificent Mile.
Oh man, I remember my very first visit to Chicago was like when I was in 4th grade, and I remember going to that Virgin Megastore.
Yeah.
And it was like paradise to me.
Yeah.
Because I was obsessed as a kid growing up with music, but not only with music, but with like having my physical CDs. And I would like get a new CD from in the town I grew up in. There was a Borders.
Oh, I
and
love Borders.
And back in the day, Borders had these like listening stations when new releases would come out, and you would put it on and listen to the whole album. And that's how I discovered a lot of the artists that like became my influences. And so whenever I'd go to like a bookstore or a music store, I would spend like hours in that section. But when I went to Chicago for the first time and had heard about Virgin Records, like mega stores or whatever, I was like in that store, and bro, you couldn't pull me out of there. It was over. I loved that Virgin Records
It's
store.
so crazy. That was my first and I want to say only time ever in that store. And we were doing a show for the radio station, and that was like my first time performing and stuff like that. And then from that we just kept doing it. And my brother, he graduated from Iowa State, and so we go down there doing Visha Week. Anybody, Cyclones, Visha Week, you know what's up. We go down there, we did performances there, and we just kept recording. And obviously they stopped at some point. I just kept going, and then had like a goal list of all of these people that I wanted to meet and all of these things that I wanted to happen. I checked off so many things on that list, which was insane. Like, if you just stick with anything, you're gonna win. Like, I don't even care if you're not talented. Like, like consistency trumps talent any day if talent doesn't
And
work.
if you have both,
Forget about it.
it's over.
Forget about it, right? So, and I did that, got all the way to the point where, finally major record labels were like, okay, maybe we'll sign you type deal. And then I got all the way there, and I just didn't even like the music anymore because I just didn't like the music business.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, this sucks. Like, it's a machine, and there's certain things that you need to do. You need to compromise your artistic integrity, and I wasn't willing to do that. And so I just kind of went through like a midlife quarter century crisis, I guess, because I was 25 at the time. And I was just like, man, what am I gonna do with my life? But fortunately, I had that degree.
Get your degrees, man.
Get your degrees, man. He said, my dad's so stingy. He took my degrees.
And after you get that degree, you go out and you get another degree.
See, you get your bachelor's, then you get your master's, then you get your master's, then you get your doctorate.
Fucking love that.
So I had a degree in finance and economics, and I always cared about that stuff. Like, I was always like, reading these things because of my big brother Steve. Like, he got me involved in reading Barron's and all of this stuff when I was like 14.
Yeah.
So I always cared about that stuff. And fortunately, I was able to, do that and help people, and it's meaningful work. So I really loved that. But then I realized, like, I didn't have a creative outlet, and I was missing that part of my life. Like, bro, I need to be doing something creative, or like that's why like these like accountants and financial advisors are like living like crazy secret lives like outside because they're like they have no outlet.
Totally.
And then moved here finally, and now we back in business, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like the parallels of my life, my story to get to this point too is similar in some regards. I mean, I started Big Brother. Speaking of Phil, shout out to Phil. Is going to be on the show in June.
It's gonna be so much fun.
But Big Brother, who started doing music with me when we were little kids, and it started like I think in like 3rd, 4th grade. I started playing the drums, and then taught myself like the drum set, and then joined band in school. And
I feel so sorry for your parents. I didn't know you went through that drum phase.
Oh yeah, no. That was the very first thing I learned to play was drums. Yeah.
Poor Tish.
And Phil was he played guitar growing up, and so like we started.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, we started dabbling, and then back in the day, early bass like loop recording and like DAW software like Acid and Cakewalk and stuff. We'd mess around and make beats and save them on floppy drives, and then. From there, I just like I've always been sort of an autodidact where I if I want to learn something or know how to do something, I'll teach it myself. I'll find a way to teach myself. So I like taught myself piano, and then later in life in college, I taught myself guitar. but I always wrote poems and lyrics growing up, and me and my buddies had like little singing groups and shit growing up, and then
You like to dance too.
yeah, and it got more. I got more and more into it as my life went by, and like in high school, I was seriously into like dance and singing and performing and choir and stuff, and then in college, I started a band with I mentioned it earlier, called Fly Phoenix with my buddy Nick, who I didn't know. Like we went to the same college, and like when you join college, you're like on Facebook, like just adding friends from college. Like I don't know this person, but they go to my
Yeah,
school
for sure.
and like he would post stuff about getting together and doing jams, and I met him, and he was like, hey Brandon, you're Brandon, right? And I was like, yeah, you're Nick, right? Like, you're looking to start a band? I'm like, yeah, you too. And yeah, and so we got together, like, and he introduced me to a couple guys that actually ended up becoming members of the band as well, and we were together for like 7 years. We played all over Midwest, Chicago, like Milwaukee, Cleveland, Indiana, like you name it. And
Yeah, y'all brought me on some of those shows. It was pretty cool.
we just had a blast. Like it was some of the best years of my life playing with those guys. They were my closest friends still to this day, and I love all those guys. And
Did you guys capture any of those moments?
oh yeah, we had a lot of them. We actually put out a live DVD show that we put online. It's on YouTube, still on our Fly Phoenix Music YouTube channel.
And speaking of capture moments,
Gotta capture those moments with Jennifer Catherine Photography.
.com.
Oh yeah.
JenniferCatherinePhotography.com.
One of the sponsors of the podcast, Jennifer Catherine Photography. You can check her out on Instagram. It's probably the best place. You can see some of the work that she's done. But if you ever need a photographer for life events, weddings, babies, baby showers, engagements, family parties, bar mitzvahs, whatever you need, Jennifer Catherine Photography's got you covered.
Or doing a show for Fly Phoenix.
Oh yeah, and
Jennifer.
she would shoot a lot of our photography. She was a big part of being that person for us too. And you know, we work with so many like friends who are artists and stuff over the years. And as the band kind of died down, I started doing my solo thing and moved to LA. And I hit this like period where I was like, kind of like an existential moment of like, this isn't going, it isn't like hitting the material success that I thought it would, or like I similarly experienced like a little bit of the industry of like, I was asked for like a shop deal, record deal, and that didn't work out because it was super weird. And just like got turned off as well. And like music started to become like a chore rather than the thing that gave me like the release and the passion and like what my life meaning was around. And so I kind of stepped away from it and started, focusing on my career and developing my other skills, because similarly, like, you were really into finance and stuff, and I was always really into business and being, either starting a business or running a business. That's something that like I think runs through my family. And so I did that for a while, and then moved here to Austin, and have become very successful in my career, but needed to get back to me and my purpose, which is music and creating projects and stuff. And so here we are. We're doing it, and I'm still releasing stuff under my my solo artist account, which is Rizzo Fields. You can follow me on there and see any of the singles I'm dropping or projects I'm dropping. I got tons of stuff on iTunes and everything like that. But
Indigo Skies, bro.